Do you know the Manchester Jewish community? On the whole, it's a fun community.
I want to just welcome you all here to my little Hanukkah party. And we're very busy on festivals. Very, very busy time. We've got loads of them.
You know, if I shut my eyes, I could be in Blackpool. And Good Girl with Bad Habit. That was made for you. We met on the internet.
And then I ignored him.
We love Jewish weddings. Weddings are a major part of our religion.
I wasn't given any formal sexual education. Suppose they want me to learn on the job.
No Jewish weddings, no babies. We need babies to carry on.
With a boom in babies and bar mitzvahs, Manchester's Jewish community is a rich mixture of devotion, ritual and indulgence. Not all of it strictly kosher. The Manchester Jewish community works on many levels, from religious to secular. Some of the more orthodox live and work solely inside the community, while others make a living outside and straddle two worlds.
Can you believe that lunatic's me? This is where I work every single day. I don't sit at home making kuchen and strudels and challah. I come out of my house every morning. It's 6:45 to come to work. I'm the event organiser for ENT. I am the fundraiser for ENT. I am the patient waiting list coordinator for ENT. I run ENT and I still do my job. Manisha, I think I might need my blood pressure checking today.
In a minute, buddy.
It's me, my love, it's me. I think the notes are in your room in a pile. Very, very orthodox women. They have a lot of children, they can't work. The women are there to look after the home and be subservient to their husbands. Well, I'm not subservient to mine. Can I... Oh my God. Because I am the Jewish member here, and I'm organising your Christmas tree, your Christmas night out, your Christmas lunch, and I don't even celebrate the thing. I'm not bothered if I get into trouble or I'm not. Well, I want to know about their Christmas and what they do. They want to know about mine. We need on the top, Magen David. What's that? A Jewish Star of David.
Well, you've got one.
It looks as if it's a bit pashikid, this tree. Do you know what that means? Drunk. My mum came from Dublin and my dad was born and bred in Manchester. My upbringing was very religious. My father was very, very fun. My mum was as well, but it wasn't like it is today. Being Jewish is that's what I am. That's how I am. That's how we all are.
Whether you work in the community or outside, it's the family and the home that's at the heart of Jewish life. Just as the year is punctuated with holy days, fasts and feasts, family life also has celebrations and rituals to mark both the happy and the sad times. Burnet's husband Michael is mourning the loss of his mother.
Receive, we beseech you, in your great loving kindness, the soul of Osha Brina Bas Reb Uri, Brenda Clark.
1 minute in the morning, my mother-in-law was not well. She was quite poor in the morning. You can't believe it. Within 4 hours, she's dead, buried, finished, done.
We tend to bury them quite quickly, within 24 hours, and then we have a 7-day mourning period where we sit in a house and people come and visit and his prayers said.
This mourning period is called sitting shiva, the Hebrew word for 7.
Food is brought in, people are in and out, bringing in their condolences. And they're not allowed to make a cup of tea, make a drink, get nothing. We are here to serve them, that's how it works.
Yeah, that's a nice one, Dad. She was a fighter, and so was my father in a way, because he survived the Holocaust and he was here, came to England absolutely penniless. She was always busy with her children, then her grandchildren, and in the wider community.
In the house, you can't have any mirrors. They have to be all covered. They're not allowed to look at themselves through the week. They're not allowed to change their clothes. They're not allowed to wear anything new.
we cut the garments, that's number one, and we don't shave for the first period of mourning, which is the first month.
We can't shave, can't do anything. You've got to look at me now.
To do a lot.
No,
You're not allowed that.
As we say, only on simchas.
Yeah, only on happy occasions.
Only on happy occasion.
Yeah.
Not terrible. We're lucky we've got this week of mourning where we can sit and they talk about the dead. Talking maybe 200 people. All came.
To be Jewish is part of your life. It's not part-time, it's full-time. You're Jewish 24/7, as they say.
It's the last morning of prayers. Because it's the last morning of prayers and Shiva's up, you make a l'chaim, which is to say, I wish you long life to everyone.
At the end of the Shiva, they instructed to get up by the rabbi. And now that's the time of mourning, and now it's time to move on to the next stage in life.
It's finished. I'm up. I can carry on work, but there's certain restrictions.
Mourning for Michael will last for a full year. In that time, he can't listen to music and enjoy himself, even on Jewish holidays.
Happy Hanukkah!
Hanukkah is an 8-day festival in December, also known as the Festival of Lights. It commemorates the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem and the miracle of a day's temple oil that burned for 8 days.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
I suppose if you're religious, in my eyes, it seems quite hard because there's some quite strict rules and it's expensive.
That's chocolate money, that's not real.
I don't find it hard to be Jewish at all because, to be honest with you, I do what I want.
They only had 1 day worth of oil, but it lasted 8 days. And that's why you have something made with oil. Have a bite.
At Burnett's house, it's not Hanukkah without a party for friends and family.
It's a Michael and Burnett Hanukkah party with Nebuch without Michael. He's not here. He is here. You will see him in the kitchen on his own eating his dinner. And then he's going out, and that is it. So he's not allowed any entertainment, any music, any gatherings, any simchas, nothing.
One of our great laws is honouring parents, and that's while they're alive and also after they're dead.
Since I mean myself and our party, but don't worry because you'll have fun because my friends are coming to enjoy it. Happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Oh, this is Manchester Nishka fiddled weather. And before we start, we've just got one little person that wants to come and say bye-bye.
Hello, and bye-bye. Make yourself at home, open the wine, open the whiskey.
With Michael out of the house, the party carries on. But there's also a serious side to this occasion. It's a thank you to all their friends who helped out after his mother's death.
I've lost my mum and I've lost my dad. Michael's lost both his parents, and all these people have rallied round. That's why I'm here to share our Hanukkah party.
No, we didn't expect anything back.
I could have had non-Jewish people at my table tonight. We're all just the same, whether we're wearing wigs, no wigs, short sleeve, long sleeve, trousers, no trousers. We're all Jewish and we're all one, and that's how we all are.
The party spirit continues at Newlands, the kosher care home, where Rabbi Zebi Saunders works part-time.
So when's the wedding?
Well, everyone seems to be asking me that, either before Pesach or just after Pesach, about the 22nd of April or whatever. But we shall see.
We've just got engaged, big thing for us if they got us engaged. Another one off the list.
Yes. My role here is to ensure that all the ingredients that are used for the cooking are all kosher, the meat, the fish. There you go, everything has a kosher label on it. I'm not going to go through the whole pantry, in case you find something that doesn't have a label on.
You're right.
That was a joke.
Yeah. It is a joke.
Merry Christmas of sadness.
Happy Hanukkah. Oh, nice to see you. How are you feeling? Oh, yeah. You know my mother-in-law unfortunately passed away, so it's a little easier for me because it's not my mum. But it is a bit sad to have to come back. Can you do that's life? As one dies, another one gets born.
Successful businessman Jack Eisenberg lost his parents in the Holocaust when he was a boy in Poland. Now he's retracing the footsteps of his remarkable journey of survival. In 1944, after 2 years as a slave worker, he was transported by cattle train to a German concentration camp called Buchenwald.
The conditions in these trains is beyond description. They pushed it in like sardines. The older people started falling on top of me, and I had to dig myself out because, they would have suffocated me. If these tracks could talk and describe what was waiting for us.
Jewish fashion entrepreneur Joel Lever brings a taste of continental glamour to North Manchester.
That's for you to try on.
Oh, I don't think so.
You'll be trying that on.
What to put people on?
There's two things Jewish people love: eating and clothing. So I'm not a good cook, so I'm in the clothing business. Lost for words. Fantastic. In fact, it's my 25th year. So I started when I was about 10. All this French stuff will go quicker. We're off to Paris. We've got quite a few appointments, so we're just getting everything packed. So there's a couple of girls coming with me. We'll have a bit of fun. You know, if I shut my eyes, there could be in Blackpool. In fact, there's probably more English people here than there are in Blackpool.
Every month, Joel goes abroad to source the latest fashions for Mon Ami in Manchester.
Here we go. Another day, another dollar.
With a population of 600,000, France has the largest number of Jews in Europe. Most live in Paris, which is also home to the fashion industry.
My eyes are everywhere, trying to find something that I think we can sell. Do you think any religious people would wear that? It's not long enough.
No, it's too short.
Oh, do you think you can sell that, girls?
Yes.
I go quite a lot to Paris. I go to Italy quite a lot. But Paris in particular, I mean, I do have a laugh.
What about this?
I don't like it.
You
Too
don't like
old.
it?
Blue, I find difficult.
The blue?
I call it varicose vein blue. The fashion industry in Paris is mainly either Chinese or Jewish. I don't like it. Totally different cultures, but drawn together by one passion. They're working in fashion. You won't sell that colour. Do you know what schmatty is?
It's Martina.
It's a rag.
Oh, right.
And schmonder is all these bits and pieces. I don't like it. No.
But this is to me.
That's the one you had with the spoon.
Get the calculator. Let's work out the best price for me. Right, let's go into... I know where we need to go. Good girl with bad habit. That was made for you. I normally like the fashions in Paris, but I just think so much of it looks old-fashioned.
It's more for now.
But I feel like I want to wipe down the tables with it. Jewish people have got a good sense of style. The more religious you are, the more covered up you actually need to be. So all the short dresses we sell go obviously to the non-religious.
I like chocolate cake.
Yeah, can you imagine a size 16 in that?
No.
With a chocolate cake spread all over her face. If a garment's sleeveless, I've got the tops that go underneath, so it becomes kosher. Yes, Jewish people, they like the good brown. It's impossible.
59.
It's impossible. Impossible. I once bought a t-shirt in Italy, and on the front it said slag. And I said, slag? He said, yes, it's the thing that crawls along the floor. I said, it's a slug.
From Jewish Paris to the streets of Manchester. Even a rabbi has to make ends meet. Zevi Saunders supplements his income as a schlepper for the Orthodox community.
I work with Martin Mann. We do removals and deliveries around the Jewish community. A rabbi can have as many jobs as an employers will allow him. I have a few because they're all sort of part-time little jobs. If you're a big rabbi of a big synagogue, you get well paid, but other times it's not that well paid. So most other rabbis will do a bit of teaching or whatever. I mean, people say to me, oh, a rabbi shouldn't be schlepping and shouldn't be removing and it's beneath you and all that sort of thing. And I respond to them with, person should hire himself out to a work that is foreign to him rather than rely on handouts from people. We are moving foodstuffs. We've got chicken and we've got wine and grape juice and oil. It's given to members of the Jewish community who can't afford to buy all these things themselves. So it's a wonderful charitable gesture.
This is called Gemach. The lady who runs this gives out tables, chairs, benches to anybody in the community who's making a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a bris, a simcha. Does a tremendous good job in the community.
We are more or less having a wedding that will resemble a Gemach wedding, what you might call a no-frills wedding. So you have a wonderful meal and a wonderful dancing and a wonderful photographer and stuff like that for a reasonably cheap price.
For those who can afford it, there's no limit to what you can spend on the perfect wedding. Jewish wedding fairs always attract the curious.
How can you all live? You obviously don't eat them, do you? You can't just think of all Jews are rich. We have big Jewish weddings. We have lots of people that come here that don't have the wealth to spend money on these extravagant.
I'm here on behalf of my fiancée, who has instructed me to come and have a look out if there's anything that we might use to spruce up our wedding a bit. Most of these things are a bit out of my grandeur league and pay league, so I think I'm just about ready to go.
No, the post stood under the hooker.
I'm getting out of here then, before she gets ideas. I'll have my eye firmly fixed on Erica.
Oh, so cute! My husband said that about me 25 years ago. I don't think he has his eyes firmly fixed on me now, Ash.
This is what my fiancée would like as a cake. Bearing in mind I proposed at Edinburgh Castle.
Certain times of the year we can't get married, so they cram them all in together. Ilana, come here, look. I think I look ready for the wedding today.
Oh, gorgeous. Oh, gorgeous.
And now,
Sophie, you've done a miracle there.
Beautiful.
It's Sunday morning in Paris and all the shops are closed. Except for here. This is the Marais, the Jewish quarter. Joel is looking to find some kosher cuisine.
It's Sunday morning, you can smell the fresh bagels, you can smell the smoked salmon. You don't get any pork chops around here. It's all kosher. Yeah, I could put weight on with the smell. There's calories in that smell. Things are changing around here. Everybody wants to be here. And the main reason is there is Sunday trading, one of the few areas in Paris. It is quite strange because I'm actually a 7-day-a-week man, but I suppose they recognise their Sundays here.
The Marais is changing as fashion shops replace the kosher cafes. But behind the scenes, you can still find places that offer a glimpse of the old Jewish community.
So all these chandeliers and memorials, Albert Abram, 1907. I love chandeliers, and to walk into a place like this, I'm amazed. Was I more religious when I was younger? I think I was. Passover, we had to change all the pots and pans, and I was always puzzled why we always saved the best stuff for like 8 days of the year, but that's what we had to do.
Oh, I've not lost it. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled.
No, we don't change the pots and pans, no. It's too much like hard work.
Jewish Paris has Sunday trading. Jewish Manchester has Sunday League football. It's the semi-finals of the Tony Cohen Memorial Cup.
We won this competition 3 years ago, and we've been finalists in 2 other occasions. So I've been 3 times. This is a bit weird for me because I'm not going to be there for the final. This is going to be, I think, his last proper competitive game before he gets married and possibly moves to America. So, you know, he's a bit nervous for it, obviously.
Good thing about Zevny is when he's 10-0 down, which is frequently, he always motivates his team. Always motivates.
But that's because you're a rabbi who's trying to motivate people, you know.
I started playing football when I was 11, and I couldn't get in the team, so I started my own team, aged 12. The worst score I've lost when I was a junior was I've lost 45-0.
Today, Zevi's team, called Crumpsall after a local synagogue, wins 3 goals to 1.
We're in the cup final. Bit bittersweet for me because I can't play in it because I'll be in America.
Bring yourself. Brilliant, guys. Come on.
When Jack Eisenberg was a teenager, sport was the last thing on his mind. In the winter of 1944, he was on the last transport of 5,000 Jews to Buchenwald concentration camp.
2,000 people in a barrack, 3 layers like shelves. You couldn't complain to anybody. There was nobody to turn to. You take it or leave it. Somewhere here, I had my photographs from home. Little bundle, and it was taken away in one of these blocks. But you know, I had a little brother, 9. No picture. You know his crime? He was 9 years old. His crime was, he was a Jew. Innocent. A beautiful, a lovely boy. A lovely boyish milk.
Buchenwald wasn't an extermination camp, but the conditions were so bad that 56,000 died from hunger and disease. Jack was placed in Barrack 62 in the Little Camp. Here the conditions were even worse. With a population of over 10,000, it became a place of starvation, filth, and desperate struggles to survive.
Little camp was the worst. In the 62 barrack, is every morning people died during the night. In the morning you had a squad with the wheelbarrow and took them to this crematorium. The flame was running 24 hours a day. The stench of burnt flesh. Is that humanity? Honestly. It's only after the war that I've been here to the crematorium. It'll take a long time for the human race to be forgiven. I was here when I was a young boy. I know you'll never forget that you saw a survivor. I know that. Yeah. You must not forget that. It always bothered me Why? Why? What the Jews did to deserve it. No human being deserved something like that.
It's the big weekend for Rabbi Zevi Saunders. His father has come to meet his American fiancée Erica and her family for their strictly kosher wedding.
Welcome to sunny Manchester.
Doesn't feel very warm out. I'm getting hitched, as we would say in the South.
Jewish law forbids Zevi from seeing Erica until their wedding on Sunday. So he'll be spending the Sabbath in Southport, home to a dwindling Jewish population.
We are now at Southport Shul, where I am the rabbi of. It's part-time. Of course, there are no kosher shops here in Southport. And of course, we obviously bought all our stuff for Shabbos. Otherwise, we'll starve. This is the Southport Synagogue, very beautiful shul. Unfortunately, we get an average of about 18 men on a Shabbos morning and about 10 women. As you see, this is a big shul with great acoustics, and therefore, even if I do shout, it's not too bad on people. When I was in college, in yeshiva, small little room, very small, and they banned me because I was too loud. Show me your muscles. There you go. And then you put it just...
12-year-old Sam Jaffe is preparing for his bar mitzvah, learning how to put on tefillin prayer boxes.
And now you are wearing tefillin.
He's the only boy in 6 years. The future looks bleak for the Southport Jewish community.
Nothing new for communities to be vibrant for 30, 40, 50 years and then to diminish and people move elsewhere. The synagogue are having our service at 7 o'clock. We can come in. Manchester is growing, but don't forget, Jews are nomadic. We are famous for it. We are the wandering Jew.
Well, we're treading the cobbles in Paris again.
After a hard day's buying in Paris, Joel treats his staff to a kosher night out.
The menu's the same all over the world. You've got gefilte fish, chopped and fried fish, herrings, stuffed cabbage. They make shakel soup. The last time I had these, my grandma made them. We're going like 20 odd years. And it's like a ravioli, and it's got meat inside. Very, very nice. I don't know very much about my family history. I think my dad once told me my grandma on his side came from America, and she came over here with her mother, and there was half a dozen children. I'm not quite sure. I don't eat anything else. I only eat breast. I'm a breast man.
Yes, I know, but I don't have a breast.
You have no breast of chicken. Oh, poor you.
Sunday morning in Manchester, and the preparations are well in hand for Zevi and Erica's wedding. It's a fairy tale occasion, topped with a surprise wedding cake.
Because I proposed in the castle, this is a surprise. He doesn't know that the cake I've got for her resembles a castle. If it rains, this is going to get rather wet. Never mind. What can we do? This is the ketubah, the Jewish wedding document, which basically says that I have undertaken to feed and to clothe, including all the medical costs, and certain undertakings if we get divorced, which hopefully we will.
Do you like it? It's not too poofy? I don't think it's poofy at all. You're gonna love this. What I do remember is he said, I want to honor you and cherish you and love you, and because we are Orthodox Jews, the only way I can do that is by marrying you. You're not just perfect. So then he addressed me and he got down on one knee and he said, Tsiona Sarah Corman, Bas Rav Meir Halevi, which is like my full Hebrew name, will you marry me? And he had a ring and everything. It was very cute. Good colors.
She was not raised strictly kosher, but I see how it works for her, and it works beautifully, and that's what makes her happy.
I mean, normally in America, the day of the wedding, the groom can't see the bride until they actually get married. But here, Zev and Erica haven't seen each other since December.
It's not just the bride that wears white. Zevi's coat is called a kittel, and it signifies purity. It also doubles as a burial shroud.
The Britishness is a little different, but the Jewishness is all the same. The only thing, women here more wear these big fancy hats, but that's more a British thing than anything.
Going to the wedding! Weddings are a major part of our religion. If a girl meets a boy, before you know it there's an engagement, and within 12-14 weeks that wedding is done. You mustn't cry, it's a happy day, we don't cry.
Ilana Bas.
She's come in from outside and now we're waiting for Zev, the bridegroom, the Kosher, to come and put the veil over her to check she's the right girl.
This veiling tradition recalls the biblical story of Jacob, who married the wrong woman, hiding her face behind a veil. Zevi and Erica are married beneath a canopy known as a chuppah. It symbolizes the home they will share.
If your child is marrying a Jewish girl, then you know that your grandchildren and their children are going to continue to be Jewish. If there isn't a Jewish wedding, then there's no continuity.
It's the happiest day of your life. It's probably the happiest days of your parents' life. Very, very holy, happy day, happiest day of your life.
Zevi breaks from tradition and lays on a surprise, thanking God for his bride with a spirited rendition of Psalm 30. Erica and Zevi have fasted all day and have never so much as touched each other. Now they're alone, together for the first time in their lives.
We've had a 2-hour break and now we're in for the dinner and the dancing and the music, completely separate. Women on one side, men on the other. No women together and men together mixed at all.
You go to a Jewish wedding, you'll see a lot of people being very happy, dancing, literally bouncing off the walls. But when we talk about being happy, we talk about being happy on religious levels. So yes, we separate the men from the women, so the men can dance without worrying about impressing the women, and the women can dance without worrying about impressing the men.
The women watch the men, by the way. But the men don't watch the women. No.
Join us to dance and express our joy for this bride and groom. Welcome, thank you, and l'chaim.
Religious people don't have honeymoons. From when they get married, they have Sheva Brachos for a week, which is 7 days of wining and dining and having parties in someone's house or in a restaurant, and they're not allowed to touch each other.
Haven't had any official sex education. I had a few marital lessons where we learned about the laws
that pertain to marriage, the extra special laws and things like that. I suppose they want me to learn on the job.
And then there may be babies again. There's always babies.
Zevi and Erica's wedding represents a Jewish continuity that is very real. Although it seems a meeting of different worlds, they share a common bond. Both have grandparents that are Holocaust survivors.
Well, my grandfather had 9 of his brothers and sisters that he's never seen since. It is real for my family too.
Even in Paris, Joel comes face to face with Jewish history in the Shoah Museum.
You're taught in education what went on during the wars, but it does upset me, and I block things like that from my mind, you know, especially when it's to do with children and persecution, and I try not to think about it. You know, it didn't matter how religious you were. No, you were born Jewish, you were the enemy.
Polish Jews suffered worst of all. Of the 3.5 million population, 90% perished. Jack Eisenberg survived Buchenwald concentration camp only to be sent to a munitions factory in Colditz. His luck ran out in April 1945 when he was one of 600 people who were force-marched to the Jewish ghetto of Terezin, 100 miles to the east.
We didn't march, we shuffled. No food, nothing. We did that about 7 miles a day. If you couldn't walk march, you were shot. And we start looking for food. And I find the story, a pea on the floor, dried out. And I am really elated. I found food.
After 2 weeks on his death march, Jack and a handful of survivors arrived in Terezin.
How many started the journey? 600. And arrived 60. That's the story. I knew I'm dying because I had no more strength left to fight or even to dream.
155,000 men, women and children passed through the Terezin ghetto. Many died of disease and starvation. All were sent to extermination camps. 70 years on, Jack visits a haunting reminder of their devotion to their faith. This hidden prayer room was painted by a German Jew who died at Auschwitz.
I can hear the voices. Screams. Honestly, really, I'm reliving something I missed. I'm a much happier person, believe me or not. Yeah.
Jack was in Terezin for barely 2 weeks when Germany surrendered. His nightmare was over.
I heard the Russian tanks, and I'm liberated. Gosh, I've got to live. The suffering is finished. The worthlessness is gone. I want to live. That's all.
The festival of Purim commemorates the deliverance of the Jewish people from destruction in the ancient Persian Empire. The story is read in public from the Megillah throughout the day.
Of course I've come down here to hear the Megillah and eat. And as we say, as us Jews say, to fresh. Cheers, Joanne.
This is Purim today. It's one of our happy occasions that we have in the year, even though we do drink on other occasions, but there's lots of drink to this one.
So while we're spending Purim in this elevated mood of Simcha, for those of us who are less fortunate,
Happy Purim to all!
The Manchester Jewish community is my life. They are fabulous, fabulous community. We work together, we stick together, and it's your home, it's where you've been brought up. I walk in the street, hi Bennett, walk here, hi Bennett, no that one, I'm in town, hello, how are you? My dad grew up here, I grew up here. I love when they talk about my family. With loads and loads and loads and loads of wonderful friends.
At Purim, even the dressing up has a religious significance.
The idea of fancy dress is to hide our real selves. God is always there. He is hidden. He is masked. So it's not the idea of fancy dress, it's the idea of masking our own identities.
Welcome to my abode. Purim's a fun festival because the kids get a chance to dress up. It's one time that Jewish people are allowed to get drunk. Not that they don't anyway, but it's a fantastic festival.
It might look like all we do is drink and eat. At each festival we're eating different food.
We had a fast day before Purim.
Yeah, we couldn't eat for 12 hours.
After the joy of Purim, Michael and Bennett have something else to celebrate.
This is our middle boy, Sorley. Never knew a thing on Sunday. Went to a wedding, went to everything. Everyone's asking me what's happening to Saul. Why isn't he getting engaged to this gorgeous Gilla? And I kept saying, oh, it'll come. And then all of a sudden, in the morning, I get a text from my bedroom to his bedroom. Come in my room now. Guess what? I'm engaged. When the right one comes, that's what you do. You get married. And what we say, if a B'Sherta comes, which is a fate, one that comes, and that's a boy or girl that gets married. But I've got to lose some weight because I need to get some weight off, otherwise I'm not going to look nice as a mother of the bridegroom. I do make nice food, don't you think?
It's dawn at Manchester Airport. Zevi and Erica's wedding celebrations continued for 6 days. Now they're flying to America and starting life as a strictly Orthodox married couple.
I'm going to New York for a bit while my wife finishes off her 2 master's degrees. The synagogue have kept my job open for me, so I can always come back.
We'll miss them, but obviously very pleased for them.
I'm married. And I'm wearing a wig.
So the only person who can see her uncovered hair is other women or myself.
I hope to become a very rich man, to become a father of lots of children, a very good husband, a very big rabbi, have lots of pupils, and eventually to come back with the Messiah to Jerusalem, whenever that may be. So those are my hopes and aspirations, in no particular order.
And to top it all, Zevi's football team went on to win the Tony Cohen Cup final in his absence. As one goes away, another returns. Jack Eisenberg is coming home to Manchester. In 1945, against all odds, he survived the Holocaust. He was flown to Britain with 300 other war orphans in the bomb bay of an RAF bomber. His remarkable moment of liberation was even captured on film.
In and the fellow from the crew says, don't press that button, because this is the bowling hatch. It won't be bombs, it will be you.
Jack came to Britain penniless. He went on to build a successful luggage business in Manchester.
Japan stands for Jack, myself, P-I-N, Pinky, and D-A, David. There's all Holocaust survivors, all three. God was good to me, good to my wife, good to my grandchildren. I've got no argument with God.
The Holocaust had robbed Jack of his family and his faith. He'd never had a bar mitzvah as a boy because he was living under Nazi occupation in Poland.
Surviving the war, genocide. I'm not religious anymore. What counts to me, with all due respect, is not religion so much, goodness of a person.
That's being, by the way, that's being religious. That's the whole of Judaism.
After waiting for a lifetime, Jack is going to have his bar mitzvah at 85 years old.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvoiroch. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Noisen HaTorah.
Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, le'elalu.
Shema beni Musar avicho.
It's a revenge of the Nazis. They stole it from me. And they thought they got away. They didn't. And what holds the Jews a little bit together is also the history, the suffering.
Yaakov, mazel tov.
And welcome to the celebration of Jack's bar mitzvah.
Better late than never, chap.
I'm quite proud to be a Jew because we have a certain way of living. We are very close to the family. We're quite decent. That's what I'm proud of.
Ever wanted to join the circus? This week your chance has come as we go behind the scenes of one of Britain's oldest circuses. It's been touring since the 1800s, but can it survive in the 21st century? The circus is Friday at 9. This evening though, will little Bernie's bar mitzvah be overshadowed by the World Cup in '66? Our film after the news next.